Hi, I'm Bob. Welcome to Bob Appetit. And today we're going to be making Spanish cod with everything you see before you. We have fresh cod, Kalamata olives, cherry tomatoes, onion, garlic, tomato sauce, artichoke hearts, marinated olives and mushrooms, and salt and pepper and paprika. We'll be enjoying it with brown rice. Brown rice will not be cooked in the dish, it'll be the side. So we're going to start today with cutting up our vegetables, our Mediterranean vegetables. I have some Kalamata olives, and I have some green olives, and some mushrooms down there. And I got this mix from the Mediterranean bar at the grocery store. The recipe calls for, I'm using an old recipe from allrecipes.com, but it's very vague in the vegetables and it doesn't call for a lot. So to make this a more hearty dish, so all you need is to add rice or some other side. I put a lot more vegetables in it. So I'll start by just basically cutting the olives, and I have the already pitted ones. I just give them a cut in half and in half again, so quarters. Just throw them in there. So I have about a quarter cup of Kalamata olives. I like them because they give a definite, distinct, different flavor than most other olives in food. These are, honestly, I don't know what the name of these olives are. There's the big green olives. They have a particular name. Again, these are pitted also. These have been marinated, like I said, on the Italian style at the Mediterranean bar at the grocery store. Now, if your grocery store does not have a place where you can scoop out your own olives and mushrooms or whatever, you can always find all these jarred in the Italian section right next to the pasta and spaghetti sauce. Now we're going to do marinated mushrooms. Again, all these vegetables I'm just quartering. We're going to have about a cup of olives and mushrooms in here when we're done. If you like more olives, you can definitely put more olives in. I'm not gonna save that. You can put some artichoke hearts in here. These are marinated artichoke hearts. I put about a quarter of a cup of this in, maybe a little bit less. When you're working with artichoke hearts, they're usually, when you get them marinated, they're pre-mixed with oil and marinade and stuff, they are mostly soft. Sometimes you'll find a hard spot in them. I generally don't eat the hard spot. You can. Doesn't hurt you. It's just more tough. But I'll just try to use the softer pieces. So this is all pretty soft. This is good. Yeah, that's good. All right, I'm going to switch out the cutters. Do our onion and garlic. About half a yellow onion, diced but big, like more like chopped. Here's the onion. I'm going to do about 2 or 3 cloves of garlic.
What do you put in it right on top of that?
Yeah, I'm going to put them, they go in together, so I'm going to put it on top of it. So these are pretty big cloves, I'll just do 2. Alright. Coarse chop on this.
You got a couple of the hard ends in there still.
Yeah. Since it's going in at the same time as the onion, I'm going to go ahead and put it in with the onion. Now, I got about 10 grape tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, whatever you want to call them. And technically these are grape tomatoes, a little bit smaller and not as round as the cherry tomatoes. You just cut these in half lengthwise.
Can you show it a little bit? Like it's hard to see. Is there any way to turn or don't without hurting yourself?
Where it going flying? Not really. Right. These are going to go on at the end right before you put the fish in. All right. Now it's time for the fish. New cutting board, new knife. And here we have our cod from the not frozen, although this one I got at the grocery store was previously frozen. This is about 1.5 pounds. I got 1 fillet at the store and it's really big, so I'm going to only use about 2/3 of it. I only want about 1 pound. So I'm going to cut off some parts of it.
What are you going to do with the rest of it?
I'm going to cook it, just not part of this dish. cut off this. The skin stuff comes right off.
Do you have to take the skin off?
This is just a little black, so you don't have to, I don't think, no. I just want to. It's not as attractive when you're serving it. Okay. Even though it's a fillet, you want to feel it, bend it. There can be the pin bones in there. This one feels pretty good. There's no scales on it, so it's very well filleted by the fishmonger. So I'm only going to cook, I think, this half. So this piece here, I'm going to put away and do something else with. So this piece here, we're going to cut into 4 fillets. All right. Okay, we are at the cooktop now. As you can see, my rice has been going for a while. It's been about 25 minutes since I did my prep, because I need to get the rice for timing purposes. So now we're going to move on to cooking the main portion. So I have my large skillet. I'm gonna put it on about medium low heat. Give it a minute to heat up. And we're going to put a tablespoon of butter. I use unsalted butter when cooking. I tend to cook unsalted because I add salt as I need it. All right. And about the same amount of olive oil. Again, I'm cooking with classic olive oil, not the EVOO, because I don't want it to get too hot. So we're going to let this get up to temperature, and we're going to saute our onions and garlic in this. Starting to bubble back there. Give it another couple seconds and we'll put our vegetables in. All right, put our onion and garlic in. We're gonna let this simmer for, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes probably. You want to start getting translucent. You don't want to start browning. You want just before it starts browning. It's almost ready. Another minute. Okay, we are going to add all of our Mediterranean marinated vegetables in. We're going to let that go for about 2 minutes, stirring it all together. You want the vegetables to get a little bit of the onion coating on them. Now, if you don't like olives, or you don't like artichokes, or if you can't eat mushrooms, obviously you can change this, adjust however you want, whatever you need to add or want to take out. This is, I added, the artichokes are my addition. The recipe I had initially just said it called for olives, but then it called for Mediterranean vegetables marinated. Didn't specify, so I chose to go with artichokes and mushrooms and additional olives. So it's all a matter of what you prefer. All right. That's about right. Now we're going to add in our 1 can, 8 ounces of tomato sauce. I use no salt added again because I like to cook with no salt. All right. And now you're going to put in your seasonings. I'm putting half a teaspoon of paprika. The recipe also calls for cayenne pepper. I opt to leave that out. It tends to be a little strong of a flavor. Some people don't like the cayenne pepper. Black pepper. A good couple twists. The recipe is called a dash. Salt. Calls for a pinch, but I'm using unsalted stuff, butter, and sauce, so I'm going to do a little bit more than a pinch. I'm going to do about 2 pinches of the sea salt that I like. All right. You're going to turn this down. You want it to come down, just be a simmer. You're going to let it go for about 5 minutes, maybe a little bit less, and then we're going to add our fish. So I'm going to just leave this go for a few minutes. I'll see you in 5 minutes. Okay, this has been going for about 5 minutes. I've stirred it once before now, so this is my second stir. Now we're going to add in the cherry tomatoes. I'm just going to go right on top. Spread them out kind of evenly. You're not going to stir them in, you're just going to lay them on top. Alright, now it's time for the fish. So I'm putting the thicker piece of fish more in the middle, and the thinner ones more over here. And you're going to cover it. And you got to let it cook for 5 to 8 minutes. Probably closer to 8 minutes because I got a really thick piece in there. And then we'll check it we're going to check the fish. Yeah, I got to flip them, I think. Fish spatula. Now it's flaking. Usually you shouldn't have to flip it. It's still a little transparent. It is flaky, but it's still a little transparent. I'm going to give it maybe one more minute. Yeah, it is definitely done. It is all flaky. Because it's steamed, it doesn't get as white as other kinds of other ways of cooking it. But it's all flaking apart. It's done. We're going to let it sit for a minute or two, and then we'll serve it. We're going to be serving it on a bed of brown rice. We usually use couscous, but I'm not a big fan of couscous. I like brown rice, so we're doing brown rice. Give You want smaller ones. And of course, you gotta have a spoon without slots to get all the good stuff. And there you go. Spanish cod. Bon appetit.